Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Shopkeeper shot dead in Anato Bay, suspect cut down by cops hours later. A man was fatally shot during a confrontation with the St. Mary police on Monday morning, hours after he allegedly murdered a female shopkeeper in Anato Bay in the parish. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Frederick Palmer, otherwise called Sledge, of Cooked River in Anato Bay. Palmer was fingered as a triggerman in the shooting death of 45-year-old Claudia Consing, also from Cooked River. According to police reports, Claudia was at home about 5:30 p.m. on Sunday when she was called to attend to a customer in the shop. Upon her arrival at the shop, an armed man opened gunfire, hitting her in the head before escaping from the scene. The police were summoned, and Claudia was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. Hours later, Palmer, who was suspected of being the shopkeeper's killer, was shot by the police during a confrontation. He later succumbed to his injuries. The incident occurred in a section of Anato Bay about 2:28 a.m. A .38 revolver was also seized after the incident, a representative of the Corporate Communications Unit (CCU) informed reporters on Monday. 28-year-old man gunned down in Manchester. Police are probing the murder of a 28-year-old man who was gunned down in Beverly District in Magoli, Manchester on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as 28-year-old Kimberly Bryan, a resident and laborer of Beverly District. A report from the Constable Communications Unit said that about 7:25 p.m., Bryan was at his sister's shop when a gunman entered, ordered an item, and exited. The police say explosions were heard shortly after, and Bryan was seen suffering from a gunshot wound to his face. He was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Manchester has recorded 13 murders since the start of the year. Up to Saturday, April 2nd, the South Central Parish recorded a 50% increase in murders when compared to the corresponding period last year. 25-year-old man shot in St. Mary, murders up by 1,200% in parish. The police are continuing their probe into the shooting death of a man in Highgate, St. Mary, on the weekend. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Treasurer Cook of Stockholm Park Housing Scheme in Highgate. A report from the Police Information Arm, the Corporate Communications Unit (CCU), stated that about 10:40 p.m., Cook was making his way home when a motor vehicle drove up and armed men alighted from the unit. They opened gunfire, hitting Cook several times before making their escape from the scene in the vehicle. The police were alerted, and Cook was assisted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Cook was the second person murdered in the unusual peaceful North Coast Parish on the weekend. Man found dead in Montego Bay. The police in St. James are now investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a man whose body was found on Dean's Lane in Montego Bay on Monday morning. The police have not yet been able to identify him. Preliminary police reports are that about 2 a.m., residents heard what they believed to be gunshots and called the police. Lawmen arrived and found the man in a pool of blood. He was wearing a white merino, blue jeans pants, and a pair of white socks. According to the police, the man appeared to be in his 40s, is of dark complexion, stout built, and about 5 feet 10 inches tall. Investigations are ongoing. Devastation. Several business owners at New Forum Fishing Village in Portmore, St. Catherine, spent Sunday morning viewing scenes of devastation after a fire of unknown origin ravaged a section of the establishment overnight. The blaze delivered the third blow in 4 months to Blossom Plummy Page, who owns and operates Ocean View Sports Bar and Restaurant at the fishing village, leaving her trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces. Right now, it's 3 times from this year's start I have been having lost. In February, in March, and now, in February about $700,000 plus loss, March about $1.5 million, and now is about $2 million, as half of the building is burnt down, she said. According to Page, she had closed her bar a mere hour before the blaze started and returned as quickly as she got the call to assist with efforts to control the fire. But her biggest disappointment is that while she was scrabbling to save what she could from her bar, people were busy looting her establishment. I got a shocking phone call minutes after 2 a.m. saying the block I was on is on fire, and I jump up and come here, and this is what I saw. All of the back part of the building burned down. Meanwhile, an assistant punched out part of the building at the side to come in and see if we could save something they were looting and also putting the bottle liquors in their vehicles, Paige said. She added, "The whole back is burned down, so there is nothing to close up the other half. I am not sure if I am going home. I guess I am going to be here because I have stuff still live in there, and this is my business. This is where I get my bread from, nowhere else, so right now me have to start clean up. That's the best I can do because right now there is no help nowhere, and I am not sure if we are getting any either. Me no know, it's really devastating, we don't know." The blaze destroyed 12 businesses in the fishing village, resulting in an estimated loss of $16 million, according to District Officer Norman Pearl of the Portmore Fire Station, who said they received a call about the fire approximately 2 a.m. On our arrival, we saw multiple buildings fully ablaze. The unit quickly engaged to extinguish the fire, and at this point in time, I cannot say what caused the fire, said a firefighter who was on the scene. Natasha Hutchinson, owner of the cook shop destroyed in the early morning blaze, was visibly shaken. "What me I go do now? Me no have a job. This is my job," she lamented. "Every day me there so I do me work. Me no like to sit down. Me like work for myself. Me little livelihood gone now. Me no have no other source. This me do every day." Nordia Samuels, a fisherwoman who lives at the fishing village, said she was counting her blessings as she had planned to go fishing Saturday night but had changed her mind. "I was supposed to go to sea last night, but it come in like God say, just don't go, and me no bother go. I give God thanks because me youth at 13, he would have probably burn up in there. I was in there sleeping, and when me hear them bawl out fire fire, me grab me youth and run out. But now, me no have nowhere to sleep. Me engine burn up, everything burn up. Fridge, TV, clothes them, me boat engine, cylinder and stove in the shop. The only thing saved is what me have on and what my son have on," she said. Another victim, Tina Francis, said that she had closed her shop but returned as she has left her cell phone, and due to frequent break-ins, she chose to retrieve it. "When I go in the shop, I was wondering why the shop's so hot. Then I hear somebody bawl out fire. We thought it was coming from a shop beside us, so we kicked off the door, but it was not that shop. The fire was already in the roof of every building coming down. I started to wet up inside my shop and took out the gas pan put outside. Everything gone up in flames. I lose more than $3 million. I do consignments on liquor, and I stop my bar separate from other business. Me do run a restaurant, me fridge them, stove everything. Burn up zinc is all we have left." Meanwhile, the fire inspector from the Community Safety and Security Branch of the St. Catherine South Police Division said the police got a call about 2:05 a.m. and responded to find a group of shops engulfed in flames. He said that the police are giving support and doing the best they can in serving and protecting the people, as they have just launched the new forum Fishing Village Beach Watch, and those affected were part of the launch. Ex-cop's murder conviction overturned by Privy Council. Lesine Edwards, the former cop, who was in 2013 sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder of his girlfriend Aldona in 2003, has had his conviction overturned by the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, the final court of appeal of Jamaica, in delivering the judgment Monday said a substantial miscarriage of justice had occurred and that the conviction of Edwards, a former constable, cannot stand. Dana died on September 5, 2003, from a single gunshot wound to the head. Despite a suicidal note being found near her body, the case had centered on whether Edwards, who was arrested and charged with her murder, fired the fatal shot or it was actually self-inflicted. The prosecution's handwriting expert had tested during the trial that Edwards wrote the purported suicidal note. The defense's own handwriting expert was inconclusive in his analysis of the suicidal note and Edwards' writing. The prosecution alleged that on the night of September 5, 2013, Edwards had visited Aldona, the mother of his 2 children, and shot her in the bathroom of her home, staging the murder to look like a suicide. Despite serious fallings around the gathering and strain of essential evidence, a lack of adequate forensic expert testimony, and a trial delay for 10 years, Edwards was convicted of Aldona's murder and sentenced to life imprisonment with possibility of parole after only serving a minimum of 35 years. In his appeal before the Privy Council, heard from February 15 to 16, 2022, Edwards' lawyer presented arguments that extension delays in the trial and appellate process had breached his constitutional right to trial within a reasonable time. They also argued that there were serious deficiencies in the safety of Edwards' conviction and that a miscarriage of justice had occurred during the initial police investigation. Vital evidence, such as the clothes worn by Edwards and the gun and holster that has been sent for forensic testing, and thus other evidence such as the clothes worn by the deceased, has been destroyed by the police before trial. Edwards' lawyers also applied to have fresh evidence admitted by the Privy Council, including reports from ballistics, gunshot residue, and blood spatter forensics experts. Considering the admission of the fresh forensic evidence, the Privy Council on Monday stated, there is simply no satisfactory explanation of how the defendant could have managed to murder the deceased in the very confined space of the bathroom, then move the body, open the door, and appear a very short time afterwards in the living room without any blood being seen on him or his clothes, and without any blood stain or bloody footprints being found anywhere outside the bathroom. This is a world of difference between a lawyer's assertion that the prosecution theory is implausible and expert evidence that shows, in the words of Mrs. League, that the suicide hypothesis is far more likely than the murder one. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.